So recently I had you all vote on what kind of vlogs you would like to see from me next, and this is what you picked. So today we're going to go through all of my instruments one by one. I'm a little surprised this is what was chosen because I don't have the largest instrument collection compared to a lot of other people that I know. But I have acquired a lot of new instruments in the past few years, most of which I have not even used on my channel yet, so it should be really fun to go through them all with you. I often get asked how many instruments I play, and I'm really uncomfortable saying anything other than just the violin, because that's what I was trained in and I studied for my entire life. It's what I went to school for, it's my profession. Even viola and piano, like, barely took any lessons for it to count. It's mostly self-taught. When I was younger, I really liked trying out different instruments and dabbling in different things, to varying levels of mediocrity. But now that I'm older and doing YouTube is such a great excuse to learn a new instrument, to learn a new thing. The majority of the ones I'm going to show you today, though, I dabble with for fun, and if I can learn them well enough to use them for a YouTube video, then that's enough for me. So I hope you enjoy this video. I'm not really sure the best way to do this. I think I'm just gonna like dump everything on the floor so I don't forget anyone. Alright, it's really hard to find a camera angle where everything fits on here, and I'll go over all these individually, but these are all of my string instruments, my 3 violins and viola. This box is all of my woodwinds and percussion, more percussion and guitars behind me, and then of course the piano. So I'll go through these one by one. Alright, so starting with my mains, my violins, I have 3. This is my main violin, the nicest one that I own, and the one that you will see in most videos and hear in all of my videos. It's a German violin from the 1920s made by Ernst Heinrich Roth, and I got it when I was in college. And so, like I said, this is the one that I use for everything except anything outdoors, obviously, or anything dangerous. That's why I have my other ones. I also have 2 bows for this violin, and one of them is a Coda Bow Diamond, a carbon fiber bow. These things are basically indestructible, so it's what I use whenever I have to play outdoors. But it's also what I used to make the lightsaber bow when I did my Star Wars Rey's theme a few years ago, if you remember that. Because I had to tape LED lights all across the bow. Still trying to get some of the sticky stuff off of it, actually. Alright, next up is the violin that I used before I got my current violin. I call it the red violin because it has really red coloring. I don't know if you guys have seen the movie, The Red Violin. But anyway, it's a modern Italian made in 2002. I've still kept it. For a while I would use it for outdoor gigs, weddings, and things like that. And I thought I might use it for outdoor videos, but then I realized it would be better just to use the stunt violin for all that. So I don't do that many outdoor gigs anymore, so it doesn't really get a lot of use, honestly. Alright, moving on now to the violin you're seeing increasingly more in my videos as I've done more outdoor stuff lately, the stunt double, the cheapo violin. I originally bought this back when I used to teach private lessons and group lessons with small children. You know, when you're teaching small kids to play the violin, accidents happen, so you definitely don't want to be using a nice instrument around them. So that's initially why I bought this one, and I used to also use it sometimes for outdoor weddings, but it's honestly not nice enough to use for weddings. And I don't do that many outdoor gigs anymore. So I considered selling it for a while, but now that I'm doing so many outdoor videos, it's actually become really useful. Someone commented on one of my videos once when I said about how I was filming outdoors in 95-degree weather in July for my Color of Summer Sky video that can't possibly be good for the instrument. I'm like, well, yeah, my nice violin will never see the outdoors, trust me. So if you ever see me playing in any questionable location or weather or circumstance, rest assured that my violin will be fine. This is the stunt double. Even if something bad does happen to it, it's easily replaceable, so no harm done. Alright, moving on to the viola. So I also call this one the red viola because the varnish is very red compared to my main violin, especially when you see it in videos, so a lot of people can't necessarily tell them apart when I'm playing viola or violin, but this one is much bigger and it's much redder, so that's an easy way for you to tell if you're watching. I got this, I think, around 2011, 2010. So I actually played viola for quite a bit in high school, and I considered switching to viola permanently. But then I decided not to, and I went for many years without owning a viola or playing viola at all. A lot of violinists can just kind of pick up viola. I had a few lessons on it, but I didn't have a lot of training in it. And then several years ago I thought maybe I would pick it up again, start doing gigs on viola, or just to have more options. But then shortly after I started my YouTube channel, and it became really helpful to have the viola, so I would have more options creating arrangements. And it's not the nicest instrument, it's not as nice as my violin, but I also don't play viola as well as I play violin, so I think it's more than enough for what I do on YouTube, and it certainly is a beautiful looking instrument. Alright, so next up is my piano. It's a Casio CDP 120. I got it pretty early on in my YouTube career. Before that I was using a Roland D50 that I inherited from my mom. I don't have a lot of experience with digital keyboards to compare, but I really like this one. I like how it feels. I like how it sounds. I do use sampled piano library sounds for my stuff, but I do still like the built-in piano sounds for when I'm just kind of messing around. I use this for all of my piano stuff in my videos. For anything that I need to perform in, if I'm just doing MIDI entry, I have another device that I use for that. Alright, moving on to the guitar family. This is my ukulele, which I got maybe 2 years ago. It was right before Octopath Traveler came out because the first video I used it for was Primrose's theme. And I definitely learned how to play the ukulele to do that video, and it was hard. It was a hard song to do. So there's a bit of a funny backstory on this, but one day I was going through my local library and I saw that you can check out a ukulele, like, through the library. I mean, it's Nashville, so that checks out, but like, still I thought that was the coolest thing, so I put my name on the waiting list, and then I got my ukulele checked out from the library. Because I had been wanting to have more guitar type sounds in my videos, but because I played guitar a bit when I was younger and some pain issues I have with my hands, I thought guitar really isn't a good fit for me. It's a bit too hard on my hands. So I thought maybe ukulele would be easier, but I never played one before or tried it. So this was a really great opportunity to check it out from the library and see, and I had a lot of fun with that, so then I decided to buy my own. So I got this one. It's by Enya, but I just love the shape of it. The shape makes me so happy that it's different than just all the other ukuleles that you see. It's unique, and it has a pretty good sound, I think. I mean, I'm never going to be a master ukulele player, but it's been a really fun sound to incorporate into my videos. I've used it for Primrose's theme and Yoshi's story so far. Maybe that's about it, but I need to find some more stuff to use it for because it's such a fun little instrument. Alright, so this next instrument is definitely the coolest one I have in my collection, and please comment below if you have ever heard of this instrument prior to watching this video because I would be curious. It's called a charango, and it's a member of the lute family, I think. It's like a South American lute or ukulele kind of hybrid instrument if you want to compare it to something. This instrument has been in my family for a very long time, since before I was born. I think my mom got it at least 40 years ago, and the coolest thing about it is that it is made out of a real armadillo body, which is just so crazy to me that it's an instrument. I don't know if they still make them out of this anymore, but like I said, it's a much older instrument, and so another cool thing about this instrument is that it's the smaller cousin of the ronroco, which is the instrument that was used for the main theme of The Last of Us. If you remember that theme, da 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 da, it was played on that instrument, which is very close to this one. So I thought that was so cool when I made that connection, and with the new game coming out, I'm looking forward to making my own cover of The Last of Us main theme using this charango, so you can look forward to that. Alright, so moving on to winds and percussion. I have this big box here. So when I started my channel, I started with the violin, I started with the viola, and then with the piano, and then I quickly realized I was going to need some more percussion. Holiday covers always require percussion, so I think that was initially where I got started with that. The first thing I acquired were these sleigh bells. These sleigh bells. Which I used for Snow Mountain. And I think I had some kind of time crunch issue because I didn't have time to get real sleigh bells. These are literally like, these are costume sleigh bells from a costume store. They don't sound that great. Luckily I was able to upgrade to a proper set of sleigh bells by the time my next winter cover came around. So I think this was for Snowman, and then I used them again for Freezy Flake Galaxy. Of course, tambourine has been used a few times on this channel. Shaker for when I want to get my bossa nova on. And this djembe drum, which I really wanted initially for when I did that collab with Harpsona for Octopath, Oasis, and the Sparkling Sands. I really wanted some kind of drum for that. These djembes are pretty expensive, but I found a good deal on Facebook Marketplace, so that worked out pretty well. I'm not a percussionist by any means possible, but it is nice to have any kind of drum that I can work into videos. It adds so much. Alright, moving on to the bag of woodwinds and other miscellaneous instruments. I don't entirely know how many things are in here, so we'll see. When I brought the charango back from my parents' house, I also brought back a backpack of like a dozen instruments, and these were all instruments that are technically my mom's, but she doesn't use that much, and you know, I grew up with them in the house, so I asked if I could borrow them, you know, to use in videos and stuff. So that's where all of these came from. So first off, we have this pan flute, which I used for Kotake and Kome video. This I actually owned already, and I got myself the ocarina that is meant to look like the one from Ocarina of Time. I know I've used this for Yoshi's Story. I'm not sure if I've used it for anything else. Of course, can't forget the automaton. If you don't know what this instrument is, go check out Miklachu's channel right now. You won't be sorry. Alright, next we have this big bag of mostly recorders and whistles and some other interesting things. Let's see. I have 3 soprano recorders. This one I had bought myself, and these were 2 that came back from my parents' house. They all have very different sounds. Not sure I'm gonna make use of that quite yet. Oh wait, never mind. I have 4 soprano recorders. I don't know where this one came from. This is an alto recorder that I also brought back from my parents. It has lower pitch than the soprano, so that's really cool. This one is definitely the coolest though, because it's a tenor recorder and it's made out of wood, so it's really nice. I'm really excited to have this one in my collection and get a little better at playing it, but... Obviously I need some practice on it. Alright, next up I have some penny whistles. This one I bought somewhere kind of recently on a trip, I think, and then this was also one from my parents' house. They're both very different though. This one has a very breathy sound, but I think it'd be kind of cool to do something like... Wait, that was the wrong song. That's not the song I meant to play. Oh, it's this one. I think it would be fun to do something from Lord of the Rings, especially since I have that green dress that I used for Game of Thrones. That would be perfect for it. I don't know how to play penny whistle yet, but maybe I can figure that out. In case you haven't figured it out, I don't know how to play most of these instruments yet. They're just here. So these 3 I also brought back from my mom's collection. They are these kind of early bamboo flute type instruments. I don't know if they have official names. These 2 are played kind of recorder style this way, and then this one is side blown. Some of them have cracks, so I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure how well they can be played, even if I knew what I was doing. Clearly I don't know what I'm doing, so... I'm not sure that I can really use them for anything, but they are very cool. 3 Project Estati branded kazoos. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about this one. So I think this is called a mini sax. This was a Christmas present from my mom. Just to show you what kind of family I come from, guys. I don't even know how to do this. I mentioned that I've dabbled in a lot of instruments, but the one thing that has always eluded me is single reeds. I cannot do any single reed instrument, like, at all. I can even make sounds on double reed instruments, but single reed is just like my Achilles heel for some reason. So let's see. I know my mom thought this was so cool when she sent it to me, thinking that I would just be able to play this, but I don't know if it's ever gonna happen. Sorry, Mom. I can only play it when my cheeks are like blown out, which I'm pretty sure is not proper technique at all. I feel really bad for my neighbors right now. Anyway, rest assured you will probably never have to suffer through watching me play this in a video. Alright, thanks for watching. I hope this was fun, or interesting, or educational. Let me know if you have any questions below. Based on the last poll, I think I'm gonna do a studio tour next. Actually, I would do the blooper reel next, but I realized most of the videos that the bloopers are from have not been released yet, so I have to wait a little bit on that. But we'll definitely do a fun blooper outtakes video at some point as well. Let me know if there's anything else you want to see from me besides music videos. Obviously, I'm always doing music videos. But as far as other kinds of behind the scenes content, I would be happy to make them for you all. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.